We can now define spiritual growth as the growth or evolution of consciousness. But since the unconscious knows more than our consciousness knows, might we not conclude that to be conscious is to be in contact with both our conscious and unconscious mind? To become conscious is to bring the conscious mind into synchrony with the unconscious. But how can the unconscious possess all this knowledge, which we have not consciously learned? Here again, I know of no hypothesis as satisfactory as the postulation of a God who is a part of us. If you want to look for grace, look within yourself. If you desire wisdom, find it inside you. The interface between God and man is at least in part the interface between our unconscious and our conscious minds. To put it plainly, our unconscious is God, God within us. God has been with us all along, is now, and always will be. I have said that the goal of spiritual growth is for the individual to become as one with God. Since the unconscious is God, we may further define the goal to be the attainment of Godhood by the conscious self. Does this mean that the conscious merges with the unconscious? No. The point is to become God while preserving consciousness. We are born that we might become, as conscious individuals, a new life form of God. The goal is to develop a mature, conscious ego, which can then be the ego of God. If as adults we can identify our mature free will with that of God, then we will be agents of God's grace, creating love where love did not exist, pulling our fellow beings up to our own level of awareness, pushing evolution forward. We can now understand power, a much misunderstood subject. There are two kinds of power, political and spiritual. Political power is the capacity to coerce others. It resides in a position, such as a kingship or presidency, or in money. It does not reside in the person who occupies the position or possesses the money. Political power is unrelated to goodness or wisdom. Stupid and evil people have walked as kings upon the earth. Spiritual power, however, resides within the individual and has nothing to do with coercion. People of spiritual power may be wealthy and may occupy positions of leadership, but they are as likely to be poor and lacking in political authority. Spiritual power is the capacity to make decisions with maximum awareness. It is consciousness. The experience of spiritual power is joyful. Joy comes with mastery, with really knowing what we are doing. And there is a greater joy, the joy of communion with God. For when we truly know what we are doing, we are participating in the omniscience of God. Our conscious self has come into alignment with the mind of God. We know with God. Yet those who have attained such awareness are invariably humble. When asked the source of their knowledge and power, the truly powerful reply, "I am merely a conduit. What power I have is a minute expression of a far greater power." And this humility is joyful, because aware of their closeness to God, the truly powerful transcend their sense of self. Such transcendence brings with it a calm ecstasy, not unlike the experience of being in love. Aware of their intimate connectedness to God, they experience a surcease of loneliness. There is communion. Joyful though it is, the experience of spiritual power is also terrifying. The closer one comes to Godhood, the more one feels sympathy with God. To participate in God's omniscience is also to share His agony. There is another problem with power, aloneness. Here there is a similarity between spiritual and political power. There is no one to blame, no one to tell you how, no one on the same level to share the agony or the responsibility. You alone are responsible. This kind of aloneness could not be borne, were it not that as we outdistance our fellow humans, our relationship to God becomes closer. The joy of this communion sustains us.